Welcome back for another Appsurd Show, and it's quite absurd today. Sardor, how are you feeling?
As usual, it'll be pretty absurd about what's coming. You gave me a little teaser, so might not have the most like kind of off, caught me off guard type of reaction, but we'll see, man. I'm very excited about what's going on, dude. I was like, I think I was pretty sure by this time of the year, the whole AI like craziness, new innovation type of thing is gonna stall. I think we're gonna hit a wall. I feel like it just keeps AI industry keeps cooking, man. It
Yep.
keeps cooking.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley last week put out a report that said they feel like we're at an industrial bubble of AI. And it's kind of peaking to where money was just getting thrown at AI projects left and right. But now the market's kind of starting to regulate itself. More is known about AI, how to implement it into businesses. Just thought that was
And
quite.
speaking of that industrial bubble, did you see Jeff Bezos' thoughts on that? Did you hear
No,
that?
no.
He said something very smart, very cool. I'm a big fan of his. He goes, dude, there's two types of bubbles. A financial bubble is no good. That just leaves everybody like worse than they were before, right? Like there's no benefit to it. Except maybe there's a learning curve of like we should not repeat this again. But with industrial bubbles like this, like even the internet bubble, shit hits the fan, like people like companies go down, but there's like survivors that are like they redefine technology and there's like they actually make a meaningful impact, right? So he says with the AI bubble, yeah, shit's gonna hit the fan and like a lot of companies are gonna go bust, but we're gonna be left with some like incredible technology after it's over, right?
I think that was the exact same thing I saw to some extent, and there was
Yeah,
some.
yeah, yeah. It's the same thought, I think. So I'm actually that was an interesting observation, and yeah, we're about to see some of the crazy
Yes,
things.
it was OpenAI's Dev Day, so we are going to have a decent amount of OpenAI to go through today. Let's unpack it all. One of these tweets I haven't even read myself. I just saw it look like a good summary and threw it in there. We're going to start off, though, with a little bit of Sora 2, because Sora 2 is fairly new since we last talked. This right here I love. Sora 2 passes the glass refraction test, and you can see
Like
the arrow switches around because of the water refraction, which
it's
I
like
never
the
even thought
physics are followed,
yeah,
right?
is one of those tests for AI video generation. I never even thought of
Oh,
it.
because
Some
that's
people,
what happens in. Oh, I didn't know this was like the Turing test of AI video.
yes,
Interesting. Well, this is great. Like, look, I think this proves that the compute, I think, goes up and down every time you use AI.
hmm,
Because we notice, I've told you before on this episode that sometimes ChatGPT even works really well, and then sometimes it's just stupid.
yeah,
I think I've witnessed this with Sora too. I've been like, since 2 days ago I got access, I've been like using it heavily. Thanks to my community, by the way. I have an incredible, I requested a code and I got it immediately, and then people are sharing it in my Telegram chat, which you guys should join. Just search for Sardor Akhmedov on Telegram. But I saw some like great videos, but I saw some like pretty bad ones. Like Jake Paul is the most popular guy, by the way, after Sam Altman on that video, on that app. I mean, because
yeah.
he's become one of the partners to launch, but it still has some like hallucinations. I've noticed like Jake Paul's hand on one of the videos, like he had three hands and like some wanky shit. But
I do
I
think
think
they throttle the compute for sure.
yeah, I think in the beginning they had the high compute, and obviously, like if everybody keeps using it, dude, like it's gonna just fucking destroy the planet. And I think they leveled it down. And I don't know what it is with AI, man. I swear, if anybody listening can find a good AI tool that will get my face right, I'll shake your hand personally wherever you are in the world. There's not a single AI tool that got my face right. I swear to God.
Interesting.
And I gotta actually post this. On my third video, it made me black.
Really.
Yes. I don't know what it is with like I think we're back at the D I hope it's just a hallucination. We're not back at this Google thing. Remember how Google made George Washington black?
Yeah.
And it made me black with like
No,
curly hair.
I ran into this the other day. I was just telling you I was doing some AI videos for one of our clients, Patriot Dreams. They have a nice
Look at
mobile app
this.
where you
This
can
is this
listen.
is me according to Sora.
That's hilarious. No,
And I have a
it's
female voice.
interesting.
And I have a female
Weird how a
one.
computer
This is
can
my
write a
voice
story, right?
supposedly.
I
Huh?
don't know. It looks pretty accurate.
Right? Yeah, especially female voice.
But I was saying, I pulled up Sora, I pulled up Grok Imagine, and I pulled up VEO3, and I was walking through with Patriot Dreams. If
One of
you're
our clients.
a fan of American history of any kind, go check out the Patriot Dreams app in the App Store. Um, but we were doing some of their stories, turning them into videos, and one of them was a Navajo Indian with a helmet on. Some part of history, there was a battle where some of the Navajo Indians joined the military, and it was just a simple image of a Navajo Indian with a military helmet on. Grok, fine. Sora, fine. VEO3 wouldn't touch it, said violates our policies and guidelines and things like that, which blows my mind, but it goes to exactly what you were talking about with the restrictions around race, and I don't know exactly what it is.
Which actually has become a Sora thing too. There's one of the most popular videos on Sora when I got in were like Sam Altman in like a clown thing and saying, "Oh, we got you hooked. Now we're like every video is a violation of our policy." Apparently, like it's actually I wasn't able to create half of my videos because it said violation of policy, but I think it's their way of like restricting the use of compute.
Yes, because there were some crazy ones that came out of there. One, they had Sam Altman grilling a dead Pikachu
Oh my
from
God.
Pokemon.
Which is an IP violation too.
Yes, yep, that. Um, and then even crazier, which I don't think this one went viral at all, but when I hopped on Sora at one point, I was screen sharing with one of our interns, and one of the first images, this was like maybe a week after what happened to Charlie Kirk, somebody generated a picture of Charlie Kirk with the devil. And it was on the For You or the Spotlight page of
Well, the
Sora.
Sora
It
image
was a
for you
messed
page
up
has always
photo.
been like borderline, like breaking a lot of like political and like inappropriate feed. It has been for a very long time. So that one I'm
Yeah.
not super surprised by.
No, no, not super surprised with the current climate or anything. I'll send it to you later. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But with that being said, enough watching the glass refraction. Let's hop over to something not particularly app related at all, but engineer related. This goes to old school engineering. I'll read through it. For those who don't get the meme, it's actually straightforward and has a pretty cool backstory. I'll go to the meme first.
Hmm.
This is the single most overrated image on the internet. Pisses me off how every time I see it, it has thousands of likes. Do you know what this image comes from, Sardor?
No, no idea. I don't think I've ever seen it actually.
So, this is a view.
Yeah.
This person said, I still have no idea what it means. This is a view of where all the planes that returned to base in World War II, where they had shots at. But originally, they were going to say, okay, that's where we need to put armor at. But that was the return plane. So I'll go up here to what he says here. In
Survivorship
World,
bias. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yep, in World War II, engineers studied returning planes to see where to add armor. At first glance, you want to reinforce where the spots are. Um, it's a classic example of survivorship bias, where you draw conclusions from only the visible survivors, ignoring the invisible failures. You see it everywhere. We copy the morning routines of billionaires, forgetting the thousands who followed the same routines and failed. We idolize college dropouts, X, Y, and Z. But a lot of the time, we're overlooking what's right in front of us. This image showed that's where they don't need armor if those planes were returning. It was in the other areas that needed armor because the planes weren't returning. That's the assumption
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
What's
this
your
guy's
thought
saying
on
it's
all
the
this?
most single overrated because he doesn't understand what survivorship bias is. Like he doesn't understand why this is that. Yeah. So why is this a meme though? Like it's funny because he doesn't understand it.
I think people use it as a meme to reply if somebody's saying the opposite of, hey, we need to do this because of this. They reply with this meme to
Ah,
say like you're missing the
this guy
point
just
type of thing.
completely missed the point, right?
Yeah.
So, which is pretty ironic because like this is whole thing is about like missing targets and whatnot. So he missed the point too, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of this, by the way, concept in general, like jokes aside. because there's this thing called fuck up nights. Have you heard about fuck up nights? They were very popular, like probably like 6, 7 years ago. It still keeps going. Like it's a franchise that basically glorifies not winners but losers, meaning they'll have a whole panel of speakers that will talk about their failures. But even then, ironically, they invite successful people because they want to get more views, right? So what ended up happening was like the initial idea was like we're gonna invite people who failed, right? But because like failed people, they don't really have a lot of audience. They don't really, it's not sexy, right? So they started inviting successful people that have names to come and talk about their failures. But yet again, we're learning from successful people, which I think it's a good thing. Like if they're still better than them just talking about their success, right? Successful people come and talk about their failures. It's a fuck up night. They come and talk about only about their fuck up. What are your biggest fuck ups, right? Which is good. But again, we're only learning from successful people. I think there's got to be like a self reflection from failed people, so maybe like a I don't know, call it like a loser's night. But I yet
And
have to see
most successful people failed many times before they.
correct. So what do you? I don't know. I don't still know if we should be learning from people who then never learn from their failures and they keep
Right.
failing. Maybe not, right? But there's a whole thing that's been going on like called fuck up nights, which I actually hold the exclusive franchise chapter for Uzbekistan that I never used. I never organized it, but fun fact about me, one of my 1,000 other things that I've been like distracted by.
Love it. All right, we're gonna roll into a post from before Dev Day. This was when OpenAI announced what
Oh
they're doing,
yeah,
but
that's
didn't go
crazy.
through it. Going
This
after
is
Zapier,
crazy.
and in the end, they're releasing an agent builder tomorrow. You'll be able to add MCP tools, guardrails, and more. For the past 3 years, people have been making ChatGPT wrappers. I think the next wave will be agent wrappers. And that line right there is exactly why I brought this to the table.
Dude, this is just. Can I just take a step back and just comment on Sam Altman's insane, aggressive speed and intensity at which he's launching products? I don't think, like, if you look at it, it's a pretty big company, but it's much younger and smaller than Meta. I've previously commented on how Zuck has been probably the biggest, like, most aggressive CEO, but this guy's beating him. In the last month, what he launched Pulse, a consumer version like your feed, and we talked about how that's like the first version, V0 of their operating system, which is, by the way, coming. I know he hasn't announced it yet, but we know it's coming. And now this? And there's also ChatGPT for businesses and enterprise. You know what else they launched this week that nobody noticed? They're coming after us. Not exactly after us. They're coming after a bigger chunk of consulting. They launched a consulting business. They launched
Really?
a consulting business that's competing with the big four, but focused on AI. Like it's literally a fucking agency. They are starting with a $10 million retainer, which is like supposed, which in the agency in their at their scale, that's considered cheap and fast. So
Oh
they'll
yeah, that's kind of like the enterprise version that they have.
yeah,
Similar,
but they'll come and implement AI into your organization,
you get actual OpenAI team members to come in. Yeah,
which is wild.
yeah,
But what they're doing with that is they're hooking you into their OpenAI products with this. So it's
yeah,
like a tactic of like come with service, keep the product type of strategy, right? Just
yeah.
fucking smart.
And if you think about it, that's what historically software companies have done. Oracle, Hyperion, they built a software and then they have a whole team of sales and consultants that come in and implement it. They're
Oh, which
pulling a little bit from that legacy playbook.
probably the next thing then that's coming, Andrew, is like going to be agency partners because they haven't launched that yet. But if they're
Yes.
doing that, they're going to have agency partners, and I think we should jump on that as agencies. And I think this is a call for other agency owners to jump on this because if you are an early Salesforce agent partner, if you're an early Microsoft, I have seen a lot of big companies grow on top of that as agency partners, right?
Yeah.
So I think becoming an OpenAI agency partner is a no-brainer. They're the market leader, they're the top of mind for AI, and like become their implementation partner, grow on top of them. I think that's a big opportunity for all the service providers out there.
Yes, and I see right here what you were talking about regarding coming after us or app builders in general. I'm gonna hop over to the breakdown and let you read through this at your pace.
OpenAI just murdered half of SF startups. It was an impressive dev day today. Here's everything you missed. Bookmark this. Apps SDK, Shopify app ecosystem, Whoop app ecosystem, but for ChatGPT, presumably with monetization down the line. Build apps that anyone can use native in ChatGPT. Wow. See, this is operating fucking system, dude. I'm telling you, if I was developing with AI, I would be diving in here. Clearly a huge marketplace in the works. We'll drop a tutorial next. So I hope this doesn't flop like the custom ChatGPT marketplace that launched in 2023, if I remember, like custom ChatGPT.
To me, this seems separate than that of like plugins, WordPress plugins, Shopify apps. Like you can build on
Yeah.
those ecosystems guided through this.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of this approach. If you, as you know, like Andrew Wilkinson's famous, approach of like being a barnacle on a whale. There's this company that grew on top of WordPress that became almost $1 billion company, just launching plugins for WordPress. So if OpenAI is the next WordPress or the next OS, be a fucking developer for this, man. I think this might be the next thing I focus on, honestly. Another thing is Agent Kit. OpenAI's version of N8N. Build, deploy, and optimize agents with optional drag and drop interface. If you're an N8N guru, try this out and let me know your thoughts. Could be a game changer. Could fizzle out like custom GPTs. Yeah, like what I said just now. I think inevitably some of these products are going to flop because I think they're doing too many things at once. I mean, they got the best talent, they got unlimited money, of course, but I mean, it's a lot of things, man. Look at this. They launched enterprise, consulting, these products, B2B, and they launch a TikTok competitor at once. I think it's a little too much for one company.
Yeah.
They also launched e-commerce inside ChatGPT. So, and I think like these are great, but it's even hard for power users like us to keep up, man, at once. Like, you know what
Absolutely.
Meta's great at? They launch in phases. They launch many things quickly, but they launch one at a time and let the users adopt. This, if you launch,
Tool overload is what it reminds me of.
yeah, and like I don't know if like an average user like my mom, she has no idea what a custom GPT is, and like she just uses ChatGPT regularly. I don't think she's
Yeah.
gonna discover any of these things or like shop on ChatGPT. I don't know.
Yeah. And I will say, it is mighty interesting you say that because I've also noticed is definitely the younger generation, but some people I would never expect to be AI savvy. I see screenshots and they have like 20 custom GPTs built for themselves, and I'm like, good for them. And it's your average marketer out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, technology adoption is becoming easier, more friendly, and like more people are becoming techie as well, or more tech curious. Like, because there's a lot of people that like they could figure this out. They just say, I'm not a tech guy. But now I think like with this whole thing, that people are realizing they need to dive deeper into this, so that's a factor too.
Yeah.
But
And
I mean,
I think also adding on to that, the custom GPTs, as we in the tech world feel it fizzled out, I think it's moved downstream more to those early slash uh, middle of the road users in regards to their tech experience. But to us, at least my opinion on custom GPTs is you don't get the same value or ROI as doing custom chats with grounded context. Or I feel like they're always lagging on the models. I know for a while, custom GPTs were only using 4 or 0.
yeah, we're
Um,
one model behind. Yeah. I mean, it comes down to compute. By the way, like half the videos on Sora 2 app are about like Sam just like begging for compute money, which is hilarious because that's what's happening, man. Like it's
that's
just
too funny. All
it's
right, and
not a
to close it
compute.
up, APIs Sora 2 and GPT-5 Pro
This is
now have
amazing.
API.
This is another wave of like I talked about this on my other pod back in December 24 that Sora API when it's out is going to be a big opportunity for rappers. Like people releasing their, whatever custom apps. There's this startup by the way from Kazakhstan, but I want to comment on this. From Kazakhstan called something Higgsfield. Higgsfield. They just raised $50 million Series A at a $1 billion valuation. And you know what they are? They're a wrapper around all the video models. So you can like pick VO3, Sora 2, like blah, blah, blah. They just hit a
Uh,
$1 billion valuation with
the
that.
aggregator.
Their aggregator. And they have a content discovery feed. What's great about them is like they wrapped it in a way that they focus on commercial videos. So using Higgsfield, you can create there's a lot of templates for like commercials you can shoot, right? which I'll give another business idea. Using Higgsfield, guys, anybody can launch an agency for video production for commercial videos built by AI, much faster and cheaper. Be that like one of our that we were just talking about, a guy that we know, founder of Zero Code. That's what he's doing. Steal his model and build an agency that does video production with AI cheaper and faster. I think you'll have a big TAM. So
I'm looking at this. It's pretty
you're looking at
wild.
Higgsfield.
Yep. I just switched the screen. I should have switched the screen share over here.
Yeah,
See?
Higgsfield is crazy. It's I couldn't believe it was from Kazakhstan, but dude, when I looked at like their team, they're actually located in Kazakhstan. Like it made me proud of like Central Asian founders because like there's no
Fun stories.
yeah, what a fun story.
Kazakhstan has a special place in my heart. In sixth grade, I
Is
had to
Sora?
do a report on some country
Oh
outside of
really?
North America,
Oh
and
okay.
I chose Kazakhstan.
Really? Because of Borat
Yep,
or
so I
what?
know a good amount about it.
Why did you choose Kazakhstan?
No, I just like the flag. I like the flag.
Kazakh people are very smart and talented, especially when it comes to like, they're weirdly known for like artsy video stuff. Like they have one of the best video production people. So no wonder even their AI startup is in a video field.
Yes. All right, I can't wait to show you this any longer, Sardor. We gotta hop over to, and you. It's funny because you've been hinting at it or saying it the whole time, but the prediction I said,
Yeah.
this tweet should have came from you.
Yeah. I should be tweeting more, man. I can't see your screen yet. It's loading.
You
What
seeing
is
it?
No. What's going on with my internet? Hold on.
Are they trying to replace the browser or the entire operating system? It's a
About
quote
OpenAI.
tweet on OpenAI saying you can now chat with apps in chat. Yeah. Are they trying to replace the browser or the entire operating
Yeah, I'm
system?
telling you,
Is the
man. They
question.
are. Of course they are. Of course they are. These guys are doing the hardware. These guys are maybe they're just gonna skip the browser. I don't know. I think they have to start with the browser though, because like it's gonna be some time until people are ready to switch over to their operating system. But I for that they're gonna need their hardware, which is gonna take some time for adoption. But my other prediction, Andrew, is like this company is definitely gonna be bigger than Apple. So like as a matter of fact, when they just hit $500 billion valuation, becoming the most biggest private company in the world, surpassing SpaceX. One third of the employees that had a chance to cash out did not cash out at the $500 billion valuation. They did not cash out because of how much they believe that this company is going to be even bigger. And I believe this company will be over 5 billion in valuation in our lifetime.
Wow, crazy. Who knows? Who knows where it'll go? But I gotta end on something funny here. And tell me if you can see screen before I start reading it.
I cannot yet. No.
You seeing?
Nope. So you're gonna have to. Oh, I
Just
can
go
see
ahead
now.
and
I can
read
see
it.
now. Hold on. Hold on.
The tweet
I knew.
is the average vibe coder support.
Oh, like yeah, I can see again. Read it to me. Average vibe
The
code support.
average support ticket, and I'm gonna read through this. Post title: I'm new to GitHub and I have a lot to say. All caps. I said, I don't give a F about the effing code. I just want to download this stupid effing application and use it. Why is there code? Make a effing .exe file and give it to me. These dumb fucks think that everyone is a developer and understands code. Well, I am not and don't understand it. I only know to download and install apps. So why the fuck is there code? Make an exe file and give it to me, stupid, smelly nerds.
Dude, that's low key me. If you saw my post on LinkedIn today, I said anybody selling a vibe coding platform, and like somebody posted a link to an open source GitHub project where you can launch your own vibe coding platform. And that's what I felt. Don't give me a fucking GitHub link, dude. Give me a fucking installer, like a vibe coding tool that I can vibe code another vibe coding tool with. And not a fucking code, man. I'm not a fucking developer, man. So I feel this guy where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, like vibe coders are gonna. That's why we need a better vibe coding tool that doesn't fuck with GitHub. That's just purely for non-tech guys. I think we got to separate. Like that's the problem with all these tools, dude. They're either just like they're all trying to cater for both technical and non-technical. Like Lovable is trying to make but for non-technical, but there's a GitHub. Like an average dev, like non-dev is not gonna know what the fuck GitHub is. So it's got to be like something that's just for devs, like Cursor. Cursor is a perfect example, only for devs. But there's got to be something that's for like non-devs, and just assume they're never gonna use GitHub or export code.
I'm with you. The farthest experience I've had with GitHub is the two-way sync button in Lovable, where you can sync it. So
Mine has been giving access or like receiving access to code and passing it on to them.
Oh, there you have it, everybody. We got more calls to get to. We don't stop today, so we're going to close it up there. Great episode of the Appsurd Show. We're going to be stepping it up. If I don't have a mic next call, I owe the first commenter on this video $10 if we don't have any mics by next. No, our editor is going to be like, all right, I'm commenting on it right away.
Like, I'm the only one who's listening anyways.
All right, perfect.